I'm your host, Reverend Steve Walling. Once again, my guest this week is Michael J. Allen. And boy, can you see that line in front of us? That is the starting line for a great and exciting adventure that we're going to be doing today. Michael, once again, welcome to the show. We got some good stuff to talk about. Continuing this conversation.
Lots.
So welcome back, like I said. And today, we're going to talk a little bit about psychology and spirituality, but we're going to talk about something that you got going that I think is really exciting. Mm-hmm. So I'll let you pick where we're going to start with this, and let's just move it forward.
Well, let's start with my passion to be a life coach.
Okay.
And specifically, the genre that I'm referring to is teens, and let's say 13 to 24, 25 years old.
Very, very powerful time in someone's life, but before we move forward, I want to break this down. Explain for those that may not fully understand, what is a life coach?
Well, a life coach is someone who, one, I believe loves you,
Mm-hmm.
cares about you, and is willing to tell you the truth, whether you like it or not, willing to give you feedback about really what they see, because others see us better and different than we see ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And if you trust your coach is coaching you to be and to live at your highest potential, then you listen to your coach in a way that's different than you would to your parents or say a mentor or someone who's just a friend to you.
Okay, so for a young person, 13 years old, into that early 20s stage, they don't come with an instruction book.
No, they don't.
Parents give them, if they're lucky, some guidance.
Mm-hmm.
Schools give them minimal or no guidance, but a lot of baggage, basically, in the various things that, through peer pressure and what is and what isn't and should and shouldn't. And so we have our young people out there looking at this thing called life down the road, going oftentimes, I haven't a clue. What do I do? Where do I go? And very often they're led by peer pressure or a desire to belong to something or some group, some tribe, if you will, and they go off in directions that are not necessarily beneficial to them. So the life coach comes in.
Well, I would say to any young person, go to yourself first and ask yourself, do you really want to learn? Do you really want to be the best person you can be? We all have gone through some type of challenge and struggle and trauma in our life on some level as young people, and it sort of holds us back from our dreams and desires. So I would say first to a young person, go to yourself and ask yourself, do you really want to grow? Do you really want to transform? Do you really want the life that you dream of, or do you want to dream about your life? And if that answer is yes, then seek help. Seek someone who's willing to help you become who you really are. And me as a life coach, that's my dream, is to help you stop and realize that, okay, here I am, 13, 14, 15 years old, and I want my life to be better than it is. I want my life to be more successful than it is. So I start planning what it takes for me to be the person that it would take to be successful in my 14, 15, 16, 17, 18th year in life. And that's generally high school.
Right. Now, Michael, you have an extended history of working with young people in this type of area. And I'm going to go back again to that 13-year-old because I've got a few years between me and 13 and a few years between me and when my children were 13. And, I don't have a lot of relational memory per se, but what I do remember is that's a time of great uncertainty in a person's life, a young man, a young woman, or becoming a young man, becoming a young woman. And oftentimes consciousness in life is pretty scattered. But yet that is an important group to get that message that you're talking about too. How do we get that message to that particular age group? Do we go to the schools? Do we blanket the neighborhoods with flyers? I mean, how do we do that? Because at that age they're so subject to peer pressure, to what's going on in the home and so on. How do you reach those people, Michael?
Well, as a science mind practitioner, first thing I would do is change my thinking about a 13-year-old.
All right.
And I see a 13-year-old as a very vibrant, curious human being. Mm-hmm. This is a time in their life where they are challenged to be a teenager now.
Okay.
That's a stage in life.
Yes,
and teenagers want to be trusted, respected. They want to be appreciated, and they want people to have confidence and faith and trust in them. Okay.
All right.
I'm willing to give you that. I just want to help you make choices at a 13, 14-year-old that you can mature and grow in. And one of the ways to do that is to help you determine, okay, who am I now at 13? What do I want to achieve just in my freshman year in school to be successful? And then break it down. Who do I want to be in my sophomore year to be successful? That involves personality, academics, social skills, family orientation, what you want to do in terms of your academic career, your athletic career, if you're really into sports.
Right.
You still have to build character. You still have to have a foundation of who you're becoming. And if young people are taught that at 12, 13, 14 years old, they start to have a more rounded personality. They start to have a broader perspective on making decisions and choices because we're empowering them to be who they really are. We're not trying to get them to fit into the old box of what it was like when I was in high school. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous because today's minds are so vast, so much more vast, in my opinion, than they were when I was in high school. There's so much more coming at young people. Social media, complete changes in the community, economy, and the environments that we're in here in our society. Just in America. You know what I'm saying? Right. So to get young people to understand who they are in today's world and start planning who they want to become in today's world, it takes up a lot more time. Right. It takes courage. It takes focus, responsibility, self-respect, self-love, and it takes you really committed to who you want to become. So it's up to young people to choose. Now you can choose to just hang out and take irresponsible actions in your life, but you won't be growing from that. You'll just be pounding on these irresponsible experiences that don't go toward evolution, growth, transformation, success.
But as a 13-year-old, I'm not getting that in my home. I'm getting, maybe some alcohol, drug issues, some communication issues with the parents. I got my homies out in the neighborhood that, we're doing our stuff. I mean,
okay,
what's this girl stuff? I mean,
as a coach, what I would say to you is,
yeah,
it's part of the game. All the stuff that's out there in the world, that's part of the game. You don't have to tell me what's out there. I know. The thing is, you don't have to choose that. That it's just that simple. You can tell me about the drugs and all the challenges that are out there. I grew up in South Central LA. I grew up in Compton. I don't need to be told about challenges. I'm not sitting here because I focused on challenges. I'm sitting here because I focused on who I wanted to become in my life.
Right.
And that's what I want to get across to young people. You all got challenges. You're all going to go through challenges. You have been through incredible challenges. And you still have years and years and years to develop who you want to become because of those challenges.
That's so true, but you said something that is so powerful that, we don't give enough emphasis to is choice. You said, you, speaking to them, have choice. And that really is where their power is. And it's their power. They make choices for themselves. Nobody else can do that.
Well, as a coach, you're absolutely right. They absolutely do. And before I could really say to a young person, you have choices. And I've done that so many times, in all the different environments I've been in. I kind of retract and I kind of go, do you want to have choices?
Okay.
Because young people think that they don't have choices, don't know how to make choices, and then when they make choices, they think they're entitled to them. But it's sort of a incomplete recipe to success.
Right.
Around your thinking.
Exactly.
So what I talk to them about is, do you know the difference between your thoughts and your feelings?
Ooh.
Do you know what feelings are? Do you know the purpose of feelings? Do you know that you are the master of thought? That if thought comes into your mind, you're responsible for what you choose to do with that thought because that thought is energy. Did you know that? Did you know that if you don't mix your heart, your mind, and your thinking together, that you won't make a complete decision? You'll probably make a reactive decision. Did you know that? Most people don't know this.
Yeah.
And most young people don't know this.
And
most young people, when you ask them, how do you feel? What do they say? I don't know.
Yeah.
Because they don't know how they feel. And I teach them, if you understand your feelings, you will make powerful choices because you understand what your feelings are communicating to you. And your feelings are things that guide you to make great choices. And that's one of the things that a coach will help you with. Help you understand how to take that choice and that thought and turn it into a successful decision.
Michael, let's talk about feelings for a minute.
Okay.
Where do they come from?
I think feelings are like they are like tools in a video game.
Okay.
Okay, you're playing the video game,
Right.
and you're going through all the obstacles of life.
Mm-hmm.
Some are exciting, some are fun, some are challenging, and all of them, all situations that you're involved in that video game, this thing called life, have feelings. There's a response of something that is sensory, physical, that you can touch in the world that gives you information. That could be a traumatic experience that has sadness. It could be situations where you're frustrated. It could be situations where you're acting out with anger. It could be situations where you find incredible joy and fun and excitement and encouragement and teamwork and, connection and togetherness. Those feelings that come up are guiding you how to choose.
Yeah, but what about those anger feelings and resentment and worry and those feelings? Where do they, and I'm playing this game, and all of a sudden, I'm just really angry. That's also a big part of the play. How do we deal? Where do they come from? Where are they generated?
Well, I always say to young people that, and I hear this over and over again, not just from young people, but adults including, I have anger issues. And I always say to people who say I have anger issues that, no, you're an expert at anger.
Yeah.
What your issue is that you don't understand what your anger is reaching to teach you. And, anger is a powerful emotion that is misunderstood.
Okay.
And most times when someone has anger they can't control, they have a deeper emotion, feeling, and circumstance within their being that they're protecting, that they are ignoring or that they're guarding or that they have forgotten about, but it becomes an emotional wound on their heart.
Yes.
And that emotional wound on their heart needs to be addressed and taken care of. Not that it will destroy you, but that it has information about how to make you stronger.
Okay.
But if you look at your scars and your emotions and your pains and the sufferings on your heart as something that you can't face, that are too much for you, that are overwhelming,
Right.
you are avoiding the very thing, that golden nugget that could transform your wisdom, your heart, your feeling, your emotions, and your whole being, because you're looking at what you're learning from what it's like to be in life.
That which I fear has come upon me, and man, I'm turning tail and heading out the road, and I'm going to be angry in the process.
Right. I say turn the tail, nipples up, and deal with it.
There you go.
Face it, because it has a gift within it. It has something that's going to make you stronger. It's like when your mother says, eat your spinach, boy, you'll be stronger. I say turn and adjust the things that hurt your heart because they will make you stronger. They are not there to destroy you. They're there to enhance you.
And teach you.
Teach you. Exactly.
And they're opportunities if you reframe in mind that they're opportunities.
Absolutely.
So we're going to come back with that. It's already first segment break time. So we'll see you on the next segment.
Clovis Bicycle is located at Bullard, Minnewawa, and Clovis near Dollar General. Featuring kids' bikes, cruisers, road or mountain bikes, and now featuring a selection of recumbent bikes. Check them out at clovisbicycle.com or call 325-2453.
Hi, Haven Young here. Join Mike Briggs and myself here at Central Valley Talk at 1212 North Van Ness the 2nd and 4th Saturdays in June 11th and June 25th at Central Valley Talk, and find out more about the most nutritious plant on earth, Moringa oleifera, and we're going to be giving away a 6-day sample pack to someone that attends. And find out more about Moringa oleifera at our website, mostnutritiousPlant.com. Don't forget the hyphens in between. See you here. Have some fun. Come on and find out about Moringa oleifera. It'll change your life.
Give your home and yard a facelift with Olivas Landscaping. Olivas Landscaping can make a tired yard look fresh again. Whether you need one-time or recurring service, repair, or a whole new design, contact Olivas Landscaping. Call Patrick Olivas at 273-0142.
Realtor Letty Pinjatori is a broker associate with Keller Williams, and she is also a voiceover artist. Contact Letty at 559-281-4568.
Need raisins? Call National Raisin Company at 559-834-5981 or online at nationalraisin.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk. My guest today is Michael J. Allen. We're talking about young people, life coaching, and creating their life consciously. And in the last segment, we were talking about fear and stuff, and I want to address this, and we're going to move into some other really good stuff we've been talking about. But the idea of a situation arises, and I react to it. And I react in fear, anger, what I'm going to phrase for this conversation in a negative way, and I mean something that is not positively beneficial for me, versus responding to something where that allows me to consider the choices and respond in a way that the outcome for me is positive. Maybe the situation might be tough. Maybe it's something that I fear, but I'm standing up to it, I'm addressing it, and I'm responding to it out of choice. For a young person, and I got to remember we're talking to and about young people today, because this is kind of a pan issue for, through the age levels. But for a young person, they have so many of those situations, Michael, where, whether it be an issue in the home or an issue in their social world, or maybe just an issue of their heart, where things come up. And so let's take this young person through this process. What happens? How do they, what do you as their coach? Hey, coach, I came, and I got this issue. I got really angry. And it didn't work out for me. Where do we go with that?
Oh, well, that's not an easy answer, but let me give you the general answer to that. What I would say to that young person as their coach is I would say to them, who is between your ears?
Okay.
And they normally would respond, me. Right, exactly. Is there anyone else between your ears dictating your thoughts, feelings, and emotions? And they would say, no. Right. So the only person in your brain, your mind, is you. And they go, yes. Okay. So who makes decisions about how you think and feel, if that's true? And they say, me. It's okay. So who's responsible for your experience if you're the only one in your mind and you're in charge of your feelings? And they say, me. I say, great. So you're in charge. So now when something happens in the world, if you are not responding in a sort of open-minded way, that thing that's happened in the world has more control over you than you do. And we call that reaction.
Yes, and oftentimes they willingly give that control and the blame.
Yes, exactly. Oftentimes they do that. But I'd say more than often, they don't know they're doing it.
True.
Because they haven't chosen to believe that the only one in their mind is them. They haven't chosen to believe that they are responsible for their thoughts, feelings, and emotions. They haven't chosen to believe that. They don't believe that they are. They believe that someone can make them react. They believe that someone can make them say something they don't want to say. And some people believe that someone can make them hurt someone else, whether it's physically, with a bunch of guns or whatever.
Or emotionally,
exactly.
Whatever,
Now, that doesn't mean the person's crazy. But what it does mean is that person is not taking responsibility for their own thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and that the world of appearances, other people, have more control over their expression than they do.
Right.
When I tell that to young people, and they get it, they say, oh, so if somebody calls me a name and I react, they have control over me. And I go, ching, ching.
There you go, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Let me give you...
Exactly.
Yeah.
That person can say something to rile you up, piss you off, make you mad, and you think I'm justified for hitting them, calling them a name, or throwing something back at them. But what it is they're like yanking your chain,
that's right,
pushing your buttons.
They're pulling
they
your
got you. They got you. Now you have two people between your ears. And you're not listening to the one who's responsible for what's between your ears. You've given all your power to that person who is dictating to you based on what they're saying about you as being true.
That's true.
So you are no longer you now. You are a slave to someone else's persuasion.
That's right.
But if that's okay with you, go ahead, choose it.
And, the tragedy in that, Michael, is we see in older people, oftentimes, those events filed away in memories. That control transcends time, transcends stages of life. 5, 10, 15 years later, they're still in that space where that event happened, when similar type events come up. And it's really going back, that's the initiating control that is expressing itself here, because the individual hasn't learned, and these are the tools that you're bringing to the table, hasn't learned that they're responsible, that it's not just this. And I believe and teach that oftentimes that gets buried in mind. And when the point happens here, we're not even aware where that response, that reaction comes from.
Well, I believe we are.
Yeah.
I believe we are aware of where it comes from.
Okay.
I believe that, and let me soften responsibility. Responsibility doesn't mean that you're responsible for being hurt. Responsible means you're responsible for being the one in charge of your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
You're not responsible for everything that has happened to you.
No.
You're responsible for how you are being you in the world. So let me soften responsibility and make it much more empowering than, because these things happen to you, it's your fault. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want you to hear that.
Yeah.
I want you to hear responsibility as now I can change it, because I know my thoughts, feelings, and emotions. So I would say to young people, based on the traumas and the circumstances and the conditions that you've been in, as your coach, I would say to you, once you choose to believe what's true about your life,
Right.
you are empowered to create what you want. But if you choose to believe what's false about your life and who you are, it's difficult to be successful because you're working from a negative deficit,
Right.
and not a positive perspective of who you are. So the responsibility would be that you would take what your experience has done for you and use it to empower yourself. How does this traumatic experience make me stronger? Well, one, you're alive and you're talking about it.
Yeah.
So if you're alive and talking about it, you're at this place called I'm facing it. If you're facing it, you're at this point called courage and confidence. And if you're at courage and confidence and you keep moving in that direction, that experience is making you stronger because you're addressing it. You're forgiving it. You're allowing it to be a teaching tool for what has happened to you and what you either do or don't want to do to someone else in the world.
Right.
It is teaching you how to have better boundaries, how to be stronger, and how to identify things that are coming at you that aren't positive.
Right.
But you can turn them around because you're not letting the negative experience you've had, your reaction, cause you to get sucked in by that experience. Someone judging you, criticizing you, teasing you. Going back and forth in the calibration of it, because everyone has different levels of trauma. And your trauma may be different than mine. Maybe a completely different experience,
Right.
A door slam could be trauma for one person when they're at a certain age.
Right.
And a gunshot could be another trauma.
That's true.
And a gunshot may not be trauma.
That's true. Yeah.
It may be that they were never told I love you. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
So we have to find out what our traumas are that stop us from being loving, powerful, amazing soul beings.
I like that. Loving, powerful, amazing.
Exactly.
soul beings.
Because we all are.
Yeah.
The circumstances and the conditions we go through in life are teaching tools. They don't have to be sad sob stories that drive us to depression, that drive us to addiction, that drive us to making choices that only keep us in negative circumstances. That doesn't have to happen.
No.
So I'm here to coach young people in seeing that who they are with great curiosity, great imagination, with great focus, a great understanding of their emotional intelligence, they become who they want to become, regardless of how great or dysfunctional or amazing their family is or isn't. It's not about that now. You're a full thinking human being who is still maturing. So let's mature with structure. Let's mature with a focus. Let's mature with some imagination, some curiosity, some empowerment, some creativity to live the life of our dreams. And it starts now. You can't wait till you're 30 years old going, oh man, I wish I'd have got my GED. You know what I mean? You can't wait till you're old enough where you say, okay, I'm going to get my act together. No, your act is happening right now. And when you get a great foundation as a teenager, you're going to have a great show by the time you're 21, 22 years old.
And that is so true. So, I'm a parent, or I'm a young man, or young woman, or a young lady, and I happen to find this on YouTube, or someone says, you need to go watch this.
Say Facebook, Successful Life
There you
Planning
go.
for Teens.
There you go. Once again, what is that? What's your Facebook page?
Michael J. Allen.
Michael J. Allen.
That's my Facebook page.
That's it.
It's connected to my Successful Life Planning for Teens Facebook page. On that Facebook page, my intention is to give you information about emotional intelligence, very important, to give you inspiring things to pay attention to and to listen to that are much more positive and encouraging. You'll probably never see anything negative on that page. Because everyone can come up with negativity, but very few people can come up with what actually is a tool for positivity and change in your life. So that's the goal of successful life planning. If you become part of the successful life planning process, you learn about my emotional intelligence workshops. You learn about how to become part of the successful life planning program, which is a program to help you create a successful plan for high school between 18 and 24 years old, so that you can start to create a foundation for your life. It'll tell you when you can have coaching calls with me. They're only $1 a minute, and you have a coaching call for as long or as short as you like. But we specifically focus on the fundamental thing that you have to change. That's one of the differences between counseling and coaching.
Right.
I'm not here to help counsel you in your mental and emotional behavior that could be stopping you from being more effective. That is more counseling. I'm here to help you with your goals,
Your game plan. Right.
your focus, your achievements in terms of what you are designing in your life. That's what coaching is about.
Right.
So if you want to go deeper into how emotional things have challenge you and stop you and block you, that may mean you need some counseling.
Right.
If you have traumas that stop you from being able to make a plan, that may mean you need some counseling, which is a beautiful thing, because the more you learn about the deep-seated traumas and the deep-seated pains, the easier it is for you to create what you want in your life. So counseling is a powerful foundation for great mental health.
Right.
If you want great mental health, I say go to counseling. If you want sustainable mental health, I say go to counseling. If you want to achieve and succeed once you have gotten clearly how to be mentally strong from counseling, now go to a coach and completely take all of your healthy mental qualities and turn them into successful planning.
Let's talk for a minute about this thing that you've mentioned, emotional intelligence.
Okay.
What is emotional intelligence? How as a young person, how do I relate to that concept?
Well, it's completely relational. It's about relationships.
Right.
And the general definition of emotional intelligence is being able to empathize and understand what other people's feelings and emotions are. And the only way to do that is if you understand your own thoughts, feelings, and emotions.
Right.
Some people have no empathy, have no sympathy, have no compassion for others because they've never had that for themselves. If you really want to be in high potential, love yourself, have self-respect, confidence, and just like incredible faith and trust in who you are,
You have to understand what your thoughts are, your feelings, how to express your emotions, and how to develop some very powerful beliefs that keep you focused in your life. Truthful beliefs about who you are.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But here, let's be very honest.
Okay.
Thought is science.
Right.
Energy follows thought.
Right.
Thought is not personal. Thought is something you choose.
Exactly.
Thought has power because you believe in it, or you're exploring it, or you repetitively address that thought, okay? And then you have feelings, which give you the experiences of what life experiences are and how they affect you in the body. Okay, before you have feelings, you have senses. Okay, but that's the advanced course. We're not. Gonna, I don't want to give people too much.
Yeah, okay.
But you have feelings.
Right.
Okay, frustration, excitement, rejection. Whatever those feelings are. You can call them positive or negative. There is guidance in the feeling. Understand that.
Right.
Okay, emotions. Emote. Sending this feeling that you understand now into the most positive emotional way it can be expressed in the world. Emotion.
Right.
Expressing your anger not from a place of crushing, but from a place of love. You ever thought about that? How can you take your anger and turn it into love? It's possible. It's a few steps in there. Don't get me wrong.
no,
it's not a quick concept.
But that's very important.
But that's what people want. They want love. But
Exactly.
they get stuck on anger because they have a poor belief system about anger. They don't understand the purpose of anger
Right.
in that circumstance or situation. Or they've always been labeled angry
Right.
or anger issues. So now they're just doing what everybody says they do.
Right.
You know?
They own that.
Exactly.
As a
Exactly.
self-definition. Okay.
And it may not be true. Let's be clear.
Probably is.
It may be the result of their behavior, their
Exactly.
reaction, but
Exactly.
it may not be absolutely true.
All right. We're going to pick this up on the comeback on this, so we'll see you in a few minutes.
Pinjatori is a broker associate with Keller Williams, and she is also a voiceover artist. Contact Letty at 559-281-4568.
I was an addict, an opiate addict.
Being 3 years clean in October.
I was renewed at the Fresno Rescue Mission. My mom, who does a lot of cooking, has been part of the rescue mission, has been willing to help teach people to make jams and jellies and other food.
Sa the Fresno Rescue Mission, tôi có lựa trong thia ilu yang nhà trong để có bá tàu bé bá tàu có thia ở trong đó.
And I believe that downtown Fresno needs a renewal as well.
Tree of Life Cafe represents new, healthy growth in downtown Fresno. I've seen men and women go through rehab programs. They want to start a new life. And yet when they get out on the street, they find it very difficult to get a job. Nobody will give them a chance. That's what this cafe is designed to do.
You will be like family to us. We will serve you our home-cooked food made with farm-fresh produce that comes from farmers right here in our valley.
We love downtown Fresno.
Pasture-grazed, delicious, nutrient-dense, 100% organic raw milk from Organic Pastures. Visit organicpastures.com or call 1-877-RAW-MILK.
Sunshine Natural Health in Tulare, California is your source for nature's best remedies. Call Sunshine Natural Health at 559-688-2063 and get healthy.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
It's New Thought Talk. Welcome back. My guest today, Michael J. Allen. We're talking about life coaching for younger individuals from 13 to 24, 25 age group and what that is and their experiences and stuff. And so, all right, now we've got this and we're working through their reaction, emotional intelligence, understanding what that is, understanding that they have choices and stuff. But I want to take this next segment now, Michael, and let's talk about the spiritual aspect of the individual. Mm-hmm. Because you get young people that will come to you from all different spiritual walks or non-spiritual backgrounds. Mm-hmm. And my personal belief is, as the whole being, spirituality becomes an important part of that. For a younger person, oftentimes that's like out there in the ozone somewhere. Do you address that in your coaching? I mean, do you work with, kind of move them into the awareness of the spiritual beingness of them? And I'm not talking about teaching a philosophy or a dogma per se, but for a young person, is that part of what is in the program, so to speak?
Well, it's probably the foundation of the program.
Okay.
And the reason it's the foundation of the program is with so many traumatic experiences that young people go through.
Right.
That they see from the adults that are around them. And I'm not saying adults are bad. I'm just saying that adults are doing their life, and young people still have to determine what that means.
Right.
When they aren't being respectful or nice or caring or kind. When they aren't being taught what are their values, their morals, and what are really right and wrongs around society and humanity. They have to determine that themselves.
Right.
So I have a goddaughter. Oh my God! If I start talking about her, I'll cry. I love her so much. But whenever she talks to me, the foundation of the conversation is bring your best self when you talk to me.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
And your best self is you are amazing, you are beautiful, and you are completely loved, and you are a soul being. There's a high part of you, a big part of you that is not affected by the world. Okay?
Yeah.
So when you come talk to me, bring that part of you to me. Because that part of you can hear me much better than the part of you that's been hurt.
I love that, Michael. For a young person that's never experienced that kind of consciousness, and they're coming to you, either they found you or their parents, somebody, and they're coming to you, and you lay that out for them. I mean, and I know you've worked with you've got a long history of this. What's the for someone that has no clue? What's the kind of reactions that you see from younger people when you get to that point?
I'm proud to say that there are a lot of young people out there that could sing their own praises from things that they've learned from the variety of work that I've done.
Okay.
I was a Challenge Day leader for 10 years, and there are many people that could sing their praises that they think came from me, but it just was an opening within them.
Right.
I worked in juvenile hall for 3 years with the juvenile justice system here in Fresno, and the foundation of my work with the young people there was, I love you, please and thank you. And those are some of the most respectful young kids I've ever worked with in my life. Great athletes, great manners, all because that was the foundation. I loved you. I didn't see you as someone who did anything wrong. So just seeing just who they are as these innocent beings who are trying to get through life without a lot of authentic guidance, that's the way I saw them. When you see them that way, they show up that way.
But the world, for the most part, particularly those young people, don't see them that way. So you may be the first time that they've ever really encountered that. So what's the response? I mean, I know they show up, but I mean, you've got to see something in them that is like an amazement within themselves.
Oh, I see the God in them.
Yeah, exactly.
I see the creativity. I see the possibility. I see new life. I see new mind. I see potential. Not because I know this young person, but because they are a young person.
That's it.
And they're not tainted with too much of life's challenges.
Right.
They still have this excitement about, I'm alive, I'm in a body. What do I do? Oh my God. I mean, that's still there.
Yeah.
So why not teach them about the greatest parts of who they are? Why not help them see that what they love is guidance for where they should go?
Right.
Why not get them to see that the more you're curious about different things, the more you'll learn? Why not get them to see that regardless of what people say about you, you're still you?
No.
Oh, you're still you.
Really?
People's opinion of you is just their opinion. Don't let that opinion define who you are.
Okay.
Let that opinion be someone's perspective of you.
All right.
Do you like that perspective?
No.
Okay, then get a good one.
There you go.
Get a better perspective. You get to choose that, but you got to know who you are. You got to know that you're amazing. You got to know that you're loved. You got to know that you're created by a great intelligence that a lot of people call God.
Right.
And all human beings are the same. Tell you why. Tell you why.
Okay.
All human beings come through a woman. All human beings, men and women. Okay. All human beings have a mother. All human beings. All human beings have this divine mother that has allowed them to be alive in a body on the planet. Okay? So when you're born and you come out in the world, we're all equal. We all have red blood. We all breathe the same air. Gravity is not prejudiced. The sun's not prejudiced. The moon shines on your side of the road just like it shines on my side of the road. So I tell young people, look at the world and see the truth. Don't look at the world and believe everything you're told is the truth.
That's right.
Seek the truth, okay, for your own freedom. Not because it's some quest, but the more you live in the truth, the more you live in courage, confidence, self-esteem, self-love, and you become more and more of who you truly are.
And that's it. And, various religious philosophies teach that concept. Find the truth, know the truth will set you free. Oftentimes, the definition beyond that may get a little scattered and stuff. But the ultimate truth is, you're right. We're all the same. We all come through a mother, a woman, okay? We all breathe, gravity, sun, blood, we're all the same. It's when society, tribe, family, community, whatever, begins to lay on our definition of what we are, that we begin to compartmentalize. We box our, well, I'm this. I'm this person. I grew up here. I identify this way, and this is me. But that's not you. You're that and so much more.
Well, the beauty of successful life planning for teens is that the principles that I teach around emotional intelligence, philosophy of the heart, and determining your own belief system, that could be any human being in any culture in any ethnic background on the planet.
Exactly.
It's universal truth about thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It's not Michael's truth. It's not a religious truth. It's very, very clear what thoughts are, and science has studied that. It's very, very clear what feelings are, and there's so much research on what feelings are. And it's very, very clear that you're the one in charge of what you express in terms of your emotions in the world. And it's very, very clear that beliefs are a series of repetitive thoughts from what we've experienced in life.
Exactly.
And that we can change and determine what our belief system is, which will be the character of our development, because we will live by those beliefs.
Our beliefs become our reality, is what I teach.
Yes.
You know,
they become a reality.
Yeah.
Our reality is that we are amazing and incredible. I mean, that's the real reality.
That's the truth. You know,
our human reality.
Our human reality. Our interaction on a material plane, our egoic reality, if you will. But everything that we believe today, we didn't believe at one time.
That's true.
And sometimes people, that's an elephant in the room that's too big for them to take a bite out of. They just, they can't quite grasp that. When you can get to that point.
Let's make it simple.
Yeah.
Let's make it simple. Because when we talk about beliefs, they are personal. And they come in different ways in people's lives.
Exactly.
I honor everyone's belief. All I ask is that in the living and the result of your belief, is it the truth? It is true that you have that belief.
Right.
The question is it the truth?
Exactly.
And the truth is that, is this what sets you free? Or does this belief incarcerate you?
Does it limit you?
Does it limit you?
Exactly.
If it limits you, it's probably not a good belief to hang on to. It could be an ancestral belief, a cultural belief, an ethnic belief, but if it holds you back as a soul being, is it a good belief for you to hang on to? That's everyone's question, not mine.
No,
it's my question too.
As a New Thought minister, we address those, and I love the way that you have defined this and put this into practice, because there's so many principles involved that are part of what I would consider truth principles, allowing the individual to learn to express their trueness, if you will, and the wonderfulness of that. Because when we recognize that, it's incredible. And sometimes we get little glimpses, sometimes we have no glimpses, but if you can open that door just a crack in their mind, in their life experience, and they can see the other side of that, maybe they won't get it right in that moment, but the seed's been planted. And things grow, because there's an inner urge. We are divinely created, if you will, and that has a desire to express itself through us.
Absolutely.
And so for young people, and their work on this, so we're going to plan our high school experience. We're going to plan how we're going to express ourselves educationally, athletically, socially, and these things. How does that process work for a 13, 14-year-old, laying that out, if you will?
Well, everybody's life is different in terms of how they're supported by their parents and their guardian situation and the school and the environment they're in. So I'm very flexible. And what I do is I help people design a consistent process where they can have a consistent meeting with me and their child in a coaching process. And that could be 30 minutes on the phone, it could be 60 minutes in person.
Right.
But I also have a structured program that I take young people through.
Okay.
Where I get them to understand what their value system is. I get them to understand that they have to sign a contract for themselves to be committed to being 100% responsible for their life. And I mean what they're responsible for.
Right.
That don't mean you got to pay the rent. That means that what you're responsible for is you. And that it's your word and your bond and your agreement with yourself that you do that. Teaching young people how to have, a relationship with gratitude and appreciation.
Okay.
It's very, very important.
Yes.
So there's activities around that. Teaching young people how to really understand that they have to have certain agreements with their family. They have to have certain agreements with themselves around their education and what they're going to do. And those agreements may be not what your friends are agreeing to and not what everyone believes you should or shouldn't be doing.
Right.
But those agreements keep a very, very powerful structured environment for you. So create agreements with yourself. What I call, your agreements. They're sacred. And I teach young people about how sacred agreements are and how your word builds integrity in your character and blah, 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 blah. There's a basic financial process where I teach them how to be financially literate in the most basic ways.
Powerful.
Saving money, managing money, having a relationship with money that's different than the world's relationship with money, okay? Like really what the tool of money can be in terms of a spiritual practice.
And it can be a big tool.
And it can be a big tool.
We're going to take our last break.
Okay, great.
So
I
we'll
can
see you
go
when we
on
go.
and on.
Yeah, this is good stuff. I think I want to be 13 again.
Clovis Bicycle is located at Bullard, Minnewawa, and Clovis near Dollar General. Featuring kids' bikes, cruisers, road or mountain bikes, and now featuring a selection of recumbent bikes. Check them out at clovisbicycle.com or call 325-2453.
Hi, Haven Young here. Join Mike Briggs and myself here at Central Valley Talk at 1212 North Van Ness the second and fourth Saturdays in June 11th and June 25th at Central Valley Talk, and find out more about the most nutritious plant on earth, Moringa oleifera, and we're going to be giving away a 6-day sample pack to someone that attends, and find out more about Moringa oleifera at our website, mostnutritiousPlant.com. Don't forget the hyphens in between. See you here, have some fun, come on and find out about Moringa oleifera. It'll change your life.
Give your home and yard a facelift with Olivas Landscaping. Olivas Landscaping can make a tired yard look fresh again. Whether you need one-time or recurring service, repair, or a whole new design, contact Olivas Landscaping. Call Patrick Olivas at 273-0142.
Realtor Letty Pinjatori is a broker associate with Keller Williams, and she is also a voiceover artist. Contact Letty at 559-281-4568.
Need raisins? Call National Raisin Company at 559-834-5981 or online at nationalraisin.com.
CentralValleyTalk.com.
That was great. Yeah.
Welcome back. It's New Thought Talk, and man, we are in our fourth segment already. Whew, man, time flies, and we're just, we're going to be picking this up again. If you like what you've seen the last couple of times, I got Michael, he's on contract for a much longer period of time, but we got some more stuff. So last segment, we finished up, we were talking about money, young people in this process, and teaching them to create this. Michael, what you're doing is basically you're laying a roadmap out for them, or helping them to create their own roadmap that they're going to follow in their next stage, whether it be the semester or the year or over a period of years.
Well, over their life.
Yeah.
Because, colleges can accept you because you have a good GPA.
Right.
But a lot of colleges, because of a lot of the social challenges they have with students who don't have good, healthy social skills, who don't have good, healthy character foundation, who don't have a sense of what it means to be in society. That means social groups, community groups, educational environments that you've never been in before. When you don't have a training in that environment, you're probably like nervous and anxious, and you're probably going to be subject to being taken out of your own leadership,
right?
Because you want to be accepted and appreciated and do what everybody else is doing,
right?
So it's more than that when you're teaching a young person about their own value system and their own moral character, and in addition to showing them about money, because money can become a problem if they don't have the right healthy relationship with money. Been there.
Yeah.
Also, I want to teach young people how to be in social groups.
Right.
There are a lot of young people out there that have never been on athletic teams, and one of the beauties of being on an athletic team is understanding what teamwork is.
Exactly.
And when you understand what teamwork is, you know more about how to get along in environments where people are shouting that this is a team, because there are principles and characteristics that go along with team. So I have 4 years as a high school coach, and very successful, I'm proud of, in tennis, basketball, and softball, thanks to some very powerful friends in my life who really supported me, Anthony. And those tools that I learned as a coach helped me teach young people how to be on a team with the young people that are not on an athletic team.
Right.
And that's like developing listening skills.
And if we're looking at college, a young person looking at
Right.
college, a lot of young people don't realize that colleges don't look just at the GPA.
No, they look at
they
character
look,
development.
Yeah, where are you
Social
at? What are you?
interaction.
Yeah. Have you participated? What social? Have you belonged to social groups? Were you in school government, for example, or what kind of service work have you involved yourself within the community? Stuff like that.
Are you going to be a benefit and a beneficial presence in our university, or are you just another student who's trying to get the contract?
Exactly.
The scholarship, the loans, the money. It's a way of surviving in some ways, when you think about it. Some people go to college because they're trying to survive. Why not go to college because they're trying to learn? I mean, there's a difference. And
some people go to college because that's just the next thing. I don't know what I'm going to do, so I'm going to plant myself there for 3 or 4 years.
And what I want to know is that as many young people as I can who want to further their education, that they're not just furthering their education, they're developing a character system, a belief system, personal development. They understand more of who they are. They're the master of their thoughts, feelings, and emotions before they're hit 18 years old. So they're not a victim of society. They are a contributor and a beneficial presence to society because they're being taught these skills of personal development.
I would define that in my phraseology, if you will, Michael. You're developing their beingness.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And a lot of people don't understand what that is. But when you are in that beingness and expressing, metaphorically firing on all cylinders, your life experience changes dramatically.
Exactly.
Not only what your day-to-day stuff is, but over the long period of time, your life experience, people that are around you, the impression that you bring to them, to your community, to your job, if you will, to your family, to your social environments, that the more that we empower our beingness, the more that we are creating, and I believe that we do create, our life experience.
So many young people have been told, you can do anything. You're the future.
Right.
You're amazing. Just go out and take on the world, and they've never been hugged.
Right.
They've never been told that they're appreciated. They've never been validated for some of the simplest things they do. They've never been told that they're amazing and that they're powerful and that they're creative and that they have a great imagination. But you have all these adults around them telling them you can do anything.
Right.
I'm talking about the how.
Yeah. The nuts and bolts.
I'm talking about how you become this person who can do anything. That's what successful life planning is about.
Exactly.
It's not about just giving you this structure that says do these steps and you'll be successful. It's no, what are the steps and what is the way for me to create my own success?
And the process, as a coach, you work with them as they implement those steps.
Exactly.
You don't just say, okay, write it out here,
Right.
go
it's
do
not
it.
It's not a
You
script.
are there, just like a team coach.
It's not a script.
You watch the game on the field and you can make changes in the game and, you can pick up your game a little bit here when they come off the field. All right, in the downtime, here's what you're going to do so that when you get back on that field, that you're going to bring a better game to whatever it is that you're doing.
Yeah, if you came to me for counseling, I'm going to focus on the behavior that really limits your beingness, your ability to self-determine, your ability to make healthy, powerful choices. I'm going to help you with everything that blocks that. When I become your coach, or if I am your coach, I understand that you have some strong mental ability, and you have some strong esteem and some strong confidence in yourself. So now I want to empower you to take the reins of your life and race a good race because you are prepared. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
There's subtle differences, but really significant in being able to determine who you are becoming in your life. Both carry that, but you have to understand, and this is very, very important, no human beings are the same.
No, sir.
They are very, very different.
And all the people that are on the face of the earth, walk the face of the earth, ever will walk the face of the earth, the fingerprints on these hands will never be duplicated.
Never duplicated.
And the fingerprints in the soul, in the mind, will never be duplicated.
So there are parents out there who kind of feel like, well, not my kid. I don't. My kid don't listen to nobody. I don't know if my kid can handle this, or I don't know if maybe it's too late for my kid. And I say, really?
Yeah.
That's the way you're thinking about that kid. I'm looking at them going, bring them.
Yeah, bring them on.
Make sure they knock on my door. Because there's an incredible, amazing human being inside these teenagers that are not getting the love and affection and guidance that they need. So if you don't think it's your kid, Michael Allen, Successful Life Planning for Teens, my offices are called ICSI. Bring your teenager to our offices. Let's change their life.
You'll change their life. You'll change their world. You'll change your world.
Exactly.
That's a powerful thing. I hope you've enjoyed the information that Michael shared with us today. He's going to be back. We got some other stuff that we're gonna work on in future conversations. But if you're a parent and you have a child, and that child, I don't care if you think that they've got it all together, a coach can bring out that much more. A coach can tweak and provide differing perspectives and viewpoints for that child as they go through life so that they can empower themselves, and that's really what it's all about.
One more thing I want to add to that. It's not just the teen.
Yeah.
You know, I really want to help parents. You know, parents are single parents. There are parents in blended families. There are parents who are still struggling with some of their own issues, but they're working so hard, don't have a lot of time to face them, don't have the time to really understand their teen. You know, I'm reaching out to parents too. You know, if parents want some coaching, if they want some direction, if they want some support, you know, come see me, call me. You know, there may be some very simple things you can do to help with your teenager. You know, let me coach you as well. If you're a single parent and you've been doing it all your own, yeah, you could use some teamwork.
That's right.
If you are two parents who are just bombarded with, you know, a variety of things that you need support with, reach out, get a coach.
There you go.
You know, let someone see things in a perspective that's different from you so that they can give you an opportunity to have a new way to deal with something that, you know, you're committed to, but you haven't had any success with.
All right, Michael, we're going to run on the time. Thank you again so much for today.
Pleasure.
And we got some great stuff to talk about in the future. We got some great stuff today. As I close, I want to remind you that you can go to the webpage for my center, MadeiraSAC.com, and we have a donate link there that you can help support this ministry and allow us to continue to go and grow in many different directions. I mean, to have people like Michael on the show is just, it's a great thrill, and we bring some really good stuff to the world. So there's that. We'll see you next week when we come back. And I mean, I need another hour or two for this show, to tell you the truth, but it's been good. So as we say goodbye today, my friends, don't forget that the light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. And the presence of God watches over you, because wherever you are, God is there, and truly all is well. We'll see you next time.
Sal Contreras of JC's Lawn Service is the go-to guy for all your lawn care and landscaping needs. Just call Sal at 559-978-7730.
Hi, Haven Young here. Join Mike Briggs and myself here at Central Valley Talk at 1212 North Van Ness, the second and fourth Saturdays in June 11th and June 25th at Central Valley Talk, and find out more about the most nutritious plant on earth.